We have the honor and pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural interface with the press.
Ahead of the 2024 governorship election in Edo State, a joint society group in the state has organized a press briefing on the launch of Edo State Civil Society Situation Room. The chairperson of the body, Mrs. Abiola Igaga, said the initiative became necessary in view of the irregularities that have marred the electionary process. She pointed out that the political elites have taken advantage of the loopholes in the electoral system to resort to gimmicks and other violent acts to have their way.
All over the world, monitoring elections to determine their validity has become a conventional indulgence. However, in Nigeria, the post-election relevance of election observers and monitors derives validity from the disputations, occultations, or brouhaha that accompany the conclusion of elections in Nigeria. No doubt, the court is a primary arbiter to resolve issues of disagreement between and among parties. But the absurdity of the Nigerian situation is that at the end of every election, there is a plethora of election cases that sometimes take over 3 years to exhaust. In situating this reality, it is either that there is something wrong with the way we implement our democratic process, or we have the character of being bad losers. In whichever way this charade manifests, there is need for a social engineering perspective that will properly situate the process of our democratic delivery or reconfigure the psychological state of our people in the way they respond to losing in an election.
She stressed that Edo Civil Society Situation Room is set up to provide adequate voters' education to ensure that Edo electorate make informed decisions during the election. She sued for the collaboration from relevant stakeholders.
Resituated, the old gamut of election rigging devolves from the wrong perception of the purpose and benefits of elective offices. To correct this anomaly requires enlightenment campaign on the relationship between development and our electoral choices. These public awareness initiatives are expected to address the capacity ratio and moral content that ought to define our choice of personnel for political offices. Thus, the situation of Edo State will indulge in enlightenment campaign that delivers impartation on the voting population, the political elites and institutions that governs the electoral process.
Leadership of the units of the joint body took turns to amplify the idea behind the initiative.
We have persons with disabilities who are denied of their voting rights. So when they come out to vote, who push them away from the queue by using different types of languages to qualify persons with disabilities. But with a situation like this, I'm sure persons with disabilities have the coverage and what it takes now to vote.
We're also calling politicians to accountability, which is very important. With this, we shall be having meetings with the aspirants in due course. So we shall have them to come forward to present their manifestos.
The body was established to add value and credibility to the electoral process in Edo State. You agree with me that there is a high level of voter apartheid.
On his part, the chairman of the Edo State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Comrade Festus Alehe, lauded the initiative as shows of the union's collaboration.
As is to ensure a free and fair contest as far as this forthcoming governor election is concerned in Edo State. So on this note, we sit down thereafter to see how we can release some journalists to this body that will be giving us adequate information. So I want to request that we must continue to educate our politicians in various areas, to request them to campaign with issues. And on the election day, if we must have accurate information, I think journalists will be very helpful here. We have 18 local government areas in Edo State. We have 192 wards in Edo State, and all of them have polling stations. Therefore, Journalists on that day will be stationed in all parts of the state to report to their various parts, their various media houses.
Representatives of the Nigerian security operatives were also on the ground to pledge their support to ensure free, fair, and credible electionary process.
Appreciate the civil society in the state. This is coming at the right time, and we, the security agencies, we are ready to work with you people to make sure there's a free and fair election. It means that at least most of us are going to be standing on our toes, and I wish that reports from this body should not be reports that are going to be coming late to be perhaps notice of the relevant agencies so that they will be able to act while the thing is ongoing. As the elections are rolling on, maybe information are being delivered, anything that is going wrong is being made known, and we are making addresses that perhaps will serve us better, rather than asking us to go to court.
The joint civil society is a makeup of Justice Development and Peace Center, Conference of Non-Governmental Organizations, African Network for Environmental and Economic Justice, and Joint Association of Persons with Disability. Austin Ayeni reporting for VOS TV News.